Blessings, beautiful being. So in this video, I want to share to you the awakened divine masculine perspective, something you have perhaps never heard, because at least to my knowledge, it's quite rare to be the awakened divine masculine. Typically, it's the woman and divine feminine who wakes up first and goes about kind of leading this journey. But from my experience, I have been the leader. I have been the one who, became awakened first and so on. So I'm going to share with you like how it has been for me and how do I feel right now as well. So basically, I'm 26 years old right now. And ever since I can remember, since I was really like 15 years old, I've been into developing myself. First, it started with personal development. I found this mentor called Klaus, and he is a very spiritual person. I think he's now Christian though, but he really has, looked into a lot of, Eastern traditions such as Osho's teachings and so on. So I learned a lot from him. And really like the key in my life has been mentors. I've had so many mentors in my life. Elliot Hall's being the first online, but then also started having in-person mentors. But I just kept studying on myself. I kept working at it. And then eventually I got into spirituality. I remember at 19 years old, I was in my business school apartment and I was walking outside. I was listening to Tao Te Ching. If you know what that is, it's like the book of the way, where it talks about like everything should be just empty. I'm like, at 19 years old, I'm thinking about these things. It's crazy, right? Also, I was listening to a lot like Wayne Dyer and so on. So then, slowly but surely, actually, I got into business and I moved to Canada on my own. I got a mentor there by the name of Dan Locke, a very successful entrepreneur in Canada. Even right now, he's very successful online, very famous. And he taught me, and he is spiritual. So there's a clear theme that all my mentors have been very spiritual. I've been drawn to them because they're very spiritual. So then, he taught me all about business for 3 years. I was very focused just in business. And then I left the team that I was working on with him. And then I started doing my own things. And this is really where everything started to go kind of... It exploded, but then in a good way, but also in a bad way, or from a non-dualistic way, just things happened. So I started traveling. I went to Brazil, for example. I spent so much money there. I went to Vegas. I spent $10,000 there. Basically, I think I have bipolar disorder. I might not have it, but I think I have it. Actually, I'm getting a message I don't have it. So I don't know. I'm being told I have it. So that's why I'm starting to think that I have it. But then... And also I've been told that I have schizoaffective disorder, which I definitely don't have. I'm being medicated right now. So then I had a real spiritual awakening when my dad got diagnosed with brain cancer. And then he died 8 months later. He died like one day before my birthday, which was a massive hit on me. And I had to come back to Finland. Then I went back to Canada for a while as well. But I never recovered from that, truly. And then I started traveling to numb the pain. I started escaping a lot. I started developing all these addictions and so on, with prostitutes in Brazil, some alcohol, overeating, porn, and so on. But then I hired a spiritual practitioner by the name of Tiia Koskinen from Teal Swan's kind of practitioners. Or she has like this group of practitioners who she trained. And she helped me a lot in my darkest times. And she basically told me, Klaus, like, you have the money. I think you should like go somewhere else than Finland because it was very dark. And I was thinking like either Rio or Miami. So then I went to Rio de Janeiro where I spent a lot of time. And it really helped. It really helped. But then I decided that I needed to face all my inner demons, and I came back to Finland. And this is where everything started like taking the next level with my spirituality. I started taking cold showers. I started meditating I started doing self-love meditations. I started listening to so many books on Audible. Even this book by Ravikant, which I recommend. Love Yourself Like Your Life Depends on It. Eckhart Tolle I started listening to also later on. So then I started healing myself truly and deeply. And it started working, and I started feeling better, and I started, but then there was some dark time still left. And I was praying for God. I was even praying for Jesus that please help me, please save me from this darkness. Every single night almost. I was listening to also Hillsong worship at the time. And then what do you know? Jesus came in a kind of a dream, almost dream-like state, and he saved me. And I promised that if he would save me, I would do all that I could, everything in my power, to dedicate my entire life for God and for Jesus. Really for God, because I believe Jesus is a very holy being, but he's an ascended master. I don't really worship Jesus. I've had an interesting relation with him. He's very close to me, but he's an ascended master. God is the one who I worship. Jesus is God's Son, Holy Son. So, just to be clear, because I'm not Christian, even though that was conditioning to me, I was born a Christian, right? But I have respect for Christian people, and I actually pull a lot of Christian people into my circle. But then, what do you know? Then my twin flame came into my life. So I asked for a soulmate relationship from the universe, from God. And then my twin flame came into my life. And it was beautiful. I instantly fell in love. And I instantly started liking her. And we started talking. And she didn't realize how much I actually liked her. So then we talked for like 2 months. And in these 2 months as well, I had this Satori or Nirvana experience. I was on cloud 9 all this time. It was a bliss, like this bliss bubble. But I was like, I have to go see this girl to know if this is true. And that's what I did. I flew across the world to see her, just to see her. Obviously didn't tell her that that's the reason. And we had a date. It went well. But then later on, we were on the phone, and I told her that I liked her, and she basically told me that she doesn't see it the same way. And that's where it started going downhill, and that's where the dark night of the soul started coming up as well. I'm sorry, some people are yelling here in the mental hospital or yelling. But basically, that's where it started going downhill. I started going through a dark night of the soul, and I started crying every single day. Like literally every single day, I was crying for her, and it wasn't easy. And this lasted for like 1 year, and then after that, I kind of came out of it. I had purged so much. I had so many people as well helping me. Like, for example, it's Jennifer from Psychic from Sedona, Arizona. Kurt from New World All Star. Twin Ray, Shakina Sananda. All my mentors, they helped me so much. But basically, I got into a point now where I have purged the pain body, at least most of it. And I'm at a stage where, like, I don't really feel a lot of pain when it comes to my twin flame. When I think of my twin flame, I kind of feel neutral. I don't really feel much love right now either. There's some love, obviously, but I feel kind of neutral. And this is what I want to teach you as well. Like, this is what I learned, is that you have to manage the obsessive thoughts. You have to manage almost like the scale of obsessiveness. Because sometimes when you just focus on, like, I want to just be with my twin flame so bad, you focus on the love, it goes over the top, and that overwhelms your twin flame. It's too much for them. It's too much for them. So scale it down, scale it back. And that's why I always teach like this, coming to the center point, coming here. This is where I spend most of my time in the center point. So that's also why I can navigate in a place like this, in a mental hospital, where there's all these people, all these distractions all the time, going crazy. I can just be in the center point. That's how I manage it. And what I know, the last thing I want to say is, what I know is that, and from experience I know this, is as I've ascended, my twin flame has ascended. So I'm here, my twin flame has been following me here. She has ascended with me. I know it because she has social media. I can watch her on social media. It's not stalking, it's just seeing, okay, what's up? She probably watches my videos as well. I'm like, who cares? It's good. It's better that way. It's better than us fighting with each other, being so triggered, being together. It's better to deal with this thing now in silence, and then later on we can have a good relationship. But again, even when I say this, still there shouldn't be any expectations. There shouldn't be any need for the outcome to happen. But that's obviously hard. So that's the awakened divine masculine perspective. I hope that this was valuable. I hope this was helpful. If it was, make sure you hit the like button. Also comment below any thoughts you have. And if you're new, make sure to subscribe to the channel. It really helps my channel grow. And click on the bell as well. And as always, I love you, and I'll see you next time.